Today I am explaining the next portion of your chapter from the beginning of the times subject history. Okay, so let's get started. So we have discussed earlier up to page 15. Now open the page 16. The heading is the story of human evolution. Okay, so right now among the scholars there are several debates regarding the issue of the places of origin of modern human beings. Now, two theories are available actually. Scholars, anthropologists have been divided into two parts. Some scholars believe in one side and some scholars believe in another theories. These two theories are known as regional continuity model and replacement model. So, according to the regional continuity model, the archaic Homo sapiens, archaic means the old one. Okay, according to this theory, that scholars describe that not only in Africa, Asia, and Europe, at the same times, the origin of the modern human beings or Homo sapiens has been completed. For that reason, we are seeing the differences of the human beings. Like the human beings in Europe are quite different, in the Asia is quite different, and in the Africa is quite different. And they have given the evidences for their view. Like Homo heidelbergensis, which is belong to the Germany, and Homo erectus. These two gene or genus people occupied the same region, and but you can find out the differences between them. Okay. Now the next thing is replacement model. So according to this theory, scholars believe that no, only in Africa, Africa is the single region where the Homo sapiens or the modern human beings originated. From here, they were, moving from Africa to Asia and Europe. And they have given some kind of evidences also. They told that the earliest fossils of the modern human beings we have found in Omo, Ethiopia country. Still, we do not found or we did not find, find any kind of older, or the earliest evidences of the fossil in Europe or Asia. Only we have found the earliest fossil, the modern human beings in Africa. Got it? So these two theories are right now, debated by the scholars, and they believe both are be applicables. Okay, so this is the story of human evolution theory, how the originate of places or place of origins of the modern human beings happen. Now coming to the second point. Okay, I hope you understood these things, and you can see that the picture how replacement model theories and the regional continuity model has been described by the scholars. Now the second point, early humans way of obtaining food. Okay, so when you were studying the skeletons or the remains of the human ancient human beings, this subject is known as the anthropology. And what kind of skeleton, skeletons or the skull we have found, the remains of the skeleton or the skulls have been used to reconstruct the history. And our scholars like that anthropologists or archaeologists, okay, try to reconstruct the history on the basis of these evidences. So according to them, early humans obtained the food through a number of ways: gathering, hunting, scavenging, and fishing. Okay, so in gathering, it involved collecting the plant foods like seeds, nuts, berries, fruits, tubers. Okay, so but the gathering was practiced in a large area in Africa, but we did not find any kind of strong evidences that like we have found the evidence of the bones, and from the study of the bone marrow definitely you can calculate that of what kind of foods item they had obtained. And but if you compare with the bone marrow or the skeletons we have found, we did not find any kind of much more information regarding the remains of the fossilized plant. So it is very rare, and historians though have described that this kind of differences of the food items they had obtained, and they gathered that kind of things because they were not able to hunt actually, because hunting was limited in very few places. So gathering was the main occupation, or you can say the process of obtaining of the food. Got my point? Now point number two: hunting. Hunting, or the topic of hunting, is a hotly debated topic among the scholars, because they do not know exactly that the early hominids, okay, hominids means, because these hominids genes actually was the first among the ape that they started the hunting. So they did not, or the scholars are not able to say properly that in what way hunting was doing, because some scholars say that hominids scavenge or forage for the meat. Scavenge means, suppose wild animals that hunted some other animal species, and they left some portions of the flesh or the meat. So some scholar told that that means was collected by the hominids, or foraged, or in search of the food they were moving from in one place to another places. Or some other scholars have told that as maybe some wild animal killed by the predators. Predators means that different kind of animal species, and they collected the meats. So scholars have the doubt that in what way they were hunting, or in what way they were collecting the meats. But evidences of the hunting, evidences of the hunting were found around 5 lakh years ago. That means when you calculate the date, we have found that date back, and the date is about 5 lakh years old. And we have two strong, clear evidences of the hunting. One in South England, there is a place Box Grove where we have found the evidences of the hunting. That was almost around 5 lakhs years ago. And in Germany, there is a place Koningen. Okay, it was about 4 lakh years ago. Got my point? And the first planned hunting evidences we have found around 35,000 years ago, and the name of the place is Vestonice, which is right now it is in Czech Republic. Actually, during the autumn time, horses or other wild animal species were coming here, for the water resources. So early human noticed this, so that's why they planned wise hunted, these animals in that time. Because we have found in this area hundreds of horses bones and other animal species bones. So definitely you can assume that. Got my point? And the next is fishing. Definitely, the early humans were, trying to live very near the river or the lakes, because for the water resources, and obviously fishing, because fishing is the very easiest way to obtaining the food. Okay, so I hope you have understood these points. Now coming to the next point, early humans from trees to caves and open air sites. Okay, now historian, or you could not historian, anthropologists trying to reconstruct the evidences that about the pattern of the residences, or in what way or what are the patterns they are living. So if you want to find out that kind of sources, or if you want to reconstruct the history for pattern of residences, so definitely there is one strong way by plotting the distribution of the artifacts. That means where you are founding or finding lots of artifacts at one place, so definitely you can assume that there must be abandon of the foods, or people were coming here. So we have evidences of Kenya. We have evidences in Kenya that the name of the place is Kilombe and Olor Jesa Lee. Okay, Kilombe and Olor Jesa Lee. The date about 7 lakh to 5 lakh years ago. In here, we have found, hundred or thousands of flake tools and hand axes. And definitely by these evidences, historian, told to everyone that here foods or abundance of the foods was available. So for that reason, it is possible that people visited repeatedly. Got my point? Now, caves and open air site, when people, let me tell you one thing. People during the when they were early human, when they were hominoids actually were living on the trees actually, because they did not know work properly, na. So that's why they always collecting or gathering the food items, maybe fruits or seeds or nuts. Then the whole day and the nights they were staying at the tree, because their lifespan was very limited, only 20 or 25 years. But between 4 lakh years to 1 lakh 25 years ago, caves and open air site began to be used, because their genes or the brains already been developed. Okay, so that's why they realized to stay the you can say that caves are much safe than trees, so that's why they were staying in the caves and even in the open air site when that their brain has been developed. And we have two or three evidences, like the Lazarette cave, which is situated in the southern France. There 12 into 4 meter shelter belt we have found beside the cave walls. And in the cave walls we have found two hearth, and this kind of hearth was used for the cookings and definitely for other purposes also. And evidences of the food sources, fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, bird eggs, freshwater fish bone we have found there in the Lazarette cave. So this is the strong evidences of the open air site, and definitely you can say and the cave, caves also. And in another place, the name of the place is Terra. Okay, it is also in the southern France. In Terra, we have found that filmy shelter, and we have found the roof of woods. Even till now, in the Terra Museum, you can find out the roof of the woods. And these kind of places were used for seasonally. Season wise, they were visited here and they were staying here. And here we have found the baked clay, burned bones. Okay, and the date was about 1.4 Maya to 1 Maya. That means 14 lakhs to 10 lakhs years ago. And this kind of evidences, that means piece of baked clay and burned bone, the evidences we have found in Chesowanja, which is right now in Kenya, and Swarthaken, that is in South Africa. Okay, so in this way we have found the different evidences regarding caves and open air sites. Okay, now the question is hearth, because hearth actually is the indicator that the a controlled use of the fire, and several other advantages also, like fire providing the warm and light inside the cave definitely, and it was could be used for the cooking also. And wild animal had the fear for the fire, so that's why wild animal had no dare to attack, so that kind of things. and advantages also there. So definitely, so if you conclude these things, first hominoid people were living on the trees, okay, because of their physical ability. They had no such kind of physical ability, but during the time of the hominids and Australopithecus and Homo they were, used to, stay in the caves and the open air side. And it was about 4 lakh years to 1 lakh 25 years ago. And the evidence is lazaret caves in the southern France and the pteramata in the southern France. One example is for the caves, another example is for the open air side. Here I have given the pictures, so definitely you can assume in what way this kind of things was constructed. Got my point? So I have given these informations, and in the next day definitely I will upload the other portion, like stone tool making process and the other things. Okay, I hope you understood, and you have my WhatsApp number. If you have any problem, definitely you can contact me. Thank you.